Let's go. Hello everybody, thank you so much for coming to this mysterious event. Everybody got the invitation, like I'll give you very good information because I want to ignite your curiosity and also I'll give like a little bit of information to other people as well, what it's going to be about. But not here to perform in respect of magician or singing or dancing, none of the above. I'm actually here to inspire you, to show you a different perspective on life of how you can live your best life, become the best versions of yourself, spread some positivity, some inspiration, some motivation, because we don't get enough of it in this world. So, who am I and why am I here? Well, I'm kind of smart, right? And I'm actually living up to that name now. Once upon a time, I actually didn't believe that, but I'm here. And my reason why I'm here is because I want to change people's lives, show people what is truly possible in your life, no matter where you are, whether you're in complete darkness, whether you're in a position where you're just happy in your life and you're content, or you're really like wishing for a solution and you're at the bottom of the scale. So today, my mission is to really open your minds and to inspire you into the best. So, where did it all begin for me? Where was I years ago in the past? Wasn't where I am today. Wasn't the positive, vibrant guy that you're seeing now. Was actually very, very close, in a place of complete darkness, heartbroken, stressed, depressed. I was a drug addict. I was even homeless. I was alone. Life was really tough. I am a son of violent alcoholics, and this is where the story began for me. From the age of 6 years old, the things that I remember is watching my mum and dad batter themselves across my house because of the alcohol was like the devil's weapon. Wonderful, kind-hearted people. My parents become like animals because of the substance. And watching that grow up was absolutely traumatic. It really broke my heart. Right? I just always wanted the best for people, always just loved people. And to see that growing up, it made me question, what on earth have I done to deserve this? There's things that happen in our lives to every one of us, and you're like, why me? What have I done? The things happen. So growing up with this kind of background, it actually caused me to go a certain direction in life, because when things happen to us, we make a meaning of that. We decide, okay, if I have my parents like this, maybe they don't love me. But for me, this is what I made up in my mind when I was younger. I was abused physically, mentally, emotionally, everything you could imagine. And I was like, oh, look, I'm not loved. Nobody loves me. They don't care about me. And it actually sent me off in the wrong direction. So moving forward in my life, the violence, the madness continued. They neglected us. As they got worse, things got worse for me. I actually was in a position where, we wasn't even eating very much. I was like a skinny, almost anorexic kid. And I actually had to go out into a shop and steal food to actually survive. You understand? So moving forward into the next part of my life, I actually was going to school. I only attended like 60% of school, the whole duration of like your kindergarten, high school, and all of the rest of it. And what actually happened was, I went to school one day and the teachers asked me, what on earth has happened to you? I come to school and I was covered in bruises. And for so many years, I held it in and I hid it and I couldn't speak it because I was afraid. But I actually opened up one day into the teacher and said, look, this is what's happening. I'm being abused mentally, emotionally, physically. I'm getting caught up in the carnage of my mum and dad beating the life out of one another. I actually tried to protect my mum, and this is what's happened to me. This is what's happened. So from that point forward, they contacted the social services. Anybody that doesn't know who they are, it's just the people that take care of kids when they're in an unsafe environment, going through some very tricky times in their life. So what happened was, straight away, they brought it to the attention of that business entity, the social services, and said, look, these kids are not safe to stay at home. That's me and my other two brothers. So then moving forward, what happened was we had two options. We either get adopted or fostered, or one of our family members come and look after us. And so, thank God, I was so happy and grateful and loved my grandparents a bit. They actually, out of all my family at the time, under the circumstances, they took us on. They actually looked after us. So we moved up north, because at the time, when I was living with my mum and dad, we lived in the south of the UK, and they lived like hundreds of miles up north. So we kind of alone in our own space when we were going through this. But we went up north and stayed with my mum and granddad. They looked after us for a year and a half. We actually got love. We actually was treated like how a child should be treated, looked after and loved. And what happened after that is, after a year and a half of actually experiencing this lovely environment my kids should grow up in, with love and affection and support, we got told by the social services that my mum and dad actually changed. Things got better. So what happened was, my older brother, there's three of us that lived with my mum and dad. They stayed, my older brother stayed with my mum and granddad because he was at the end of his schooling, doing his exams and all of this. And me and my younger brother went back home because things have actually supposed to be better. Actually supposed to be good. When we went back, it was not. They're supposed to have changed. We had expectations, excitement, yes, we're finally going to have our mum and dad back, they've cut the alcohol, no more violence, no more neglect, no more madness. But we go home, guess what happened? It just get 10 times worse. Sometimes in life, you ever have a situation you think, it definitely can't get worse than what it is. This is atrocious. Like, we've all experienced something. How can it get worse? And guess what? It does. Out of our control, things happen. So this is what happened for me. I went home so excited that within the first week was in hell. Literally having fights at the age of like 12 and a half with my dad. My mum was on another level of mentalness, and things I just don't even imagine, because they were supposed to have changed. I had an expectation. And so, moving forward from this point, things only got worse. The violence. And it was just me and my younger brother that were suffering. My older brother was away living a good childhood with my mum and granddad. This was one of those. But I'm so grateful for it. I'm going to explain why in a moment. As time progressed, I actually started getting involved with drugs. I don't know if anybody's taken them, but I'm totally against them because I've lived them, I've done them. They're actually meant to be fun and great in this world that we live in, because they've been accepted in many different countries. But anything that alters the mind and affects you in an emotional way is not really the best of things, because we can become reliant on it. It can be like a medication. And we don't need anything like that other than ourselves, our mind, and the ability to use it correctly. But to move on with the story, I was actually going through this experience with my younger brother, protecting him, feeding him, and supporting him while he was back at home with my mum and dad. Things supposed to be getting better. It got to a point where now I'm taking drugs, all this is going on, I'm really going down a different direction in my life. It was to do with how I was thinking about the situation. Of course, I was younger as well. And the association, the importance of association. This is a key factor and gem that I'm going to give you. We're going to go more into that shortly. The association. My association at the time was very bad. I was around people at a very young age, 11, 12-year-olds doing criminal activities, burglaries, stealing, criminal damage, doing some very things I'm ashamed of, but that was the old me. It's not who you see today, and anybody can change no matter what. And so, the next chapter of my life after this, of going through this trouble and tough, difficult time, is I went into a position where I couldn't carry on. Has anybody ever been in that position where you felt that, I can't carry on with this? I said to myself, I was around 15 years old, I said, I'm going to have to be working soon. I'm going to have to start growing up and living a life and having my own responsibilities. I cannot be in this environment. And so what happened was, I actually decided that I'm going to leave home at 15. I said, that's it, that's enough. I didn't know the way. I got my younger brother, got him to stay with a friend of mine. And that was it. From that point, I was homeless. I was 15, homeless, no place to go. But I know I needed to change. I needed to do something. I knew that I could not continue the life that I was living. So, for the next 2 nights, I was walking on the streets. And when I got so tired, I went into an apartment kind of like this. And there was like a stairway, some stairs, instead of the lift. And I slept under the stairs for a couple of months. 2 days after that, I actually see a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in a while. And he asked me how I was. My head was absolutely everywhere. I broke down to him. I said, oh, bro, I said, you don't believe me. I said, I'm homeless. I said, I've got nobody. I'm just lost, man. I just want a better life. And he said, look, man, come and stop with me. So I was sofa surfing for a short time. Not long after sofa surfing for a few months, I was nearly 16. I then got support by the government of the UK. And they said they got supported housing for me. So things were starting to look good. I then got a place to stay. And I was happy. I was like, yes, I'm not homeless anymore. I haven't got to be staying on somebody's sofa and be relying on everybody else. Like, come on, we can do something better now. So what happened was, I got my place, but unfortunately the place that I went to was a hostel. And the hostel wasn't like the hostel that you hear when you go travelling. It's just a place that there's different people travelling with the place and they're just staying and sharing the place. No, this was like a hostel with complete drug addicts, the association again. People were in a very dark place as well. I feel for them for sure. It's a very tough environment to be in when you've got your things going on. And so I was in this hostel where literally I could see needles on the floor, like people injecting that crack. Like, I'm like meant to be in a place of, meant to be better to where I was before. In a way it kind of was, but at the same time, another challenge come into my life, another form of pain. And I got more involved in drugs. I actually started dealing drugs, and I even was doing some of the high, nasty drugs like cocaine and method drugs. Now they're meant to be fun, hard drugs, things like that, but they destroy life. They destroy life. They really do. If it alters your mind and gets you away from yourself and your presence and your awareness, then it's very, very dangerous. So moving forward, I'm now in the hostel, things are supposed to be getting better, and where am I? I'm in a hostel, doing some drugs daily, now becoming addicted, and it's like numbing my pain. At the time I think it's numbing my pain, but I'm literally like brain dead, can't think. I'm just about getting by. I don't know how I even held a job then, but I did. Now, after this, I went to the hostel with my younger brother. I begged my mum and my granddad. They looked after my younger brother, they looked after us at the time. Technically, they weren't supposed to have us back because they was getting a bit older then as well. They were past the age of being able to look after us by what they were saying. I just begged them. I said, look after my brother, please. Because he was staying with somebody. He was actually adopted by a friend of mine who was a lovely person, but he didn't know him. So imagine you've got to live with a stranger. It's going to be difficult for you. So I see that. I said, oh, look, come on, please take him. Don't worry about it because I don't know what's going on. They didn't even know that I was taking drugs or adding anything. They kept it inside. So they looked after him. Thank God he's had a beautiful upbringing, looked after him. There's me down hundreds of miles away in the same place that I brought up with by my parents, in this drug life, in this bad association that was really affected me for the worst. Then here come things when they start changing. I actually had a good friend at the time, still not my best friend now. Just unfortunately, he's still kind of living in his past. One of them things. But what happened was, I met one of his friends, and he inspired me, kind of like what I believe I can do for you today. He gave me a different perspective on life. Not just that, sorry, I'm almost forgetting, so it's my first time doing this. back in the hostel, this was a key point. Is you want to change, you want to be better, you want to do better, you want to improve yourself or something. But for me, I was kind of forced into it. When I was living in that hostel, I was at one of the lowest points of my life, and I was on, cannabis, I was sniffing cocaine, and that night I was surprised I did not die. But I literally necked a whole litre of Smirnoff vodka to myself, and I was only 18 at this time. I don't know how I survived it, but I did that, and I went out to the nightclub with a bad association with someone I was living in the hostel at the time. I got thrown out literally by they told me this because I was blacked out. They threw me out of the club, landed on the ground. I didn't know what happened, but I was on a rampage. I went back to my place in the hostel, which was around the area, and literally, what happened was, I started going mental, like my parents almost. I'm the most nicest guy you'll ever meet, even when I was pessimistic, depressed, negative, lost in my life. I've always had the heart to do something good, but this night, it really changed everything. I went from being the nicest guy to becoming like an animal and a devil like my parents. And what happened was, I actually really had a fight with my old friend at the time. Violence is something I run away from because of seeing too much of it. And what happened was, they got security windows. I was 5 stories up in this hostel. They've got security blockers on the window so people can't jump out and suicide, because for sure, I've been there as well. I've wanted to end my life. I've been that low that I think this is the easy option. I did not, thank God. What happened was that night, when I was 18 and I was thrown out of the club, I was going on a rampage, smashing my room to bits. I ripped open my window and I nearly went out and lost my life. Thank God I did not. Literally, my brother and my friend had to leave me. They called the police, they called the ambulance, whatever. I don't remember anything. But I remember waking up the next day. My room smashed to bits, glass everywhere. Everywhere. I thought, a massive headache. I thought someone would be standing on my head and write something. I was like, what's happened? And of course, I got sober as well. I went downstairs and spoke to the support people that was living in the hostel. I said, what happened? They said, Connor, you don't know what happened, but you brought the place down last night. I said, what? He said, yeah, you brought the place down last night. You destroyed your room. You have to go. You're getting kicked out of the hostel. The place, the only place that I had there was there to support me at the time. So now I'm homeless again. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just know that from this point forward, things have to change. And this was the beginning. I said, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't care what it takes, but I'm going to live a different life. I'm going to change the game. I'm going to turn it all around. Cannot go on any longer. And like an unconscious thought come in my head. Something my nan was telling me, something about you. It's quite a beautiful association around you, people that believe in you, people that are positive, people that lifted you up. She said to me, I don't know what it is about you, Connor, but you're really something special. You're going to do something. She told me this for years. And this was the point where things really started changing. Now, I went and lived with a friend of mine at the time, and had a spare room. I was there for a few short months, and I really started changing my life around. And how did I do that? I got connected with someone inspiration, someone I want to be right now. And this guy was only 23. He's living the life of his dreams. He's so fulfilled. He's so happy. Like, it's not about financial things and things that happened at the time. He definitely inspired me as well. Just the person he was, the way that he spoke, the characteristics that he had. Driving around in an Audi R8, this guy was homeless 4 years before. I thought, wow, this is crazy. He wasn't a rich kid, he didn't get anything for free, he earned it. I thought, wow, I can do that. I need inspiration, somebody, a role model, something positive we can look up to, see that we can do something more. And I said to him, what did you do to change your life? What was it? There's me, like in this epiphany that now my life's got to change something. He said to me, and to listen very clearly to this one, I thought about it for 2 weeks after he told me. He said, When you go to the gym and you condition your body, you're working on it consistently, and you're growing your muscles, or if you're going to get that lovely booty that you want, or you get the nice legs, the abs, whatever you're looking for, you have to use the tools and equipment to make it work. You've got to condition yourself, condition your body. He said to me, you have to condition your mind. You have to condition your mind like you condition your body. And he didn't fully explain himself, he just left it at that. And after that night, he gave me his number, and I was connected with him. My first mentor, if you want to call it. My first good association. Because, I'll come back to the story. Why don't we deal with the association? The key of association is that the people that you're around, even can be sometimes the loved ones, people that you're deeply connected with. We've got to think about it. Ask the question, are these people that we're spending time with, this association we have, is it good for us? Or is it bad for us? Are they energy draining, or are they uplifting and positive? Are these people helping me move towards my dreams and goals in whatever it is in life that we want to achieve? Or are they people that are holding us back? These are the questions I'd love you to think about. Things that actually help and change my life. The power of association is just one thing. So, at that time I changed my association. I got away from people dealing drugs, doing drugs, all the rest of it. I was on my own to begin with, but not fully. Because I had my mentor, somebody who had his head in the right place, living the goals and dreams that he wanted. And I was sharing the thoughts, the conversations of growth, not of, you can't do this, you can't do that, you've got to be realistic, or this kind of thing. Anything is possible. You want something, let's do it. Encouragement, positivity. You can, not you can't. So now, after 2 weeks of being in the hotel room with him, he's telling me about conditioning my mind. I'm thinking about it. Condition my mind, condition my mind. From this point forward, things started changing. What was it? I actually started conditioning my mind. What do I mean by that? Everything that goes into your mind, into our minds, affects who we are and how we live our life experience. Everything. The videos that we watch, the people that we spend time with, the association, very important. The kind of things that we say to ourselves, the inner dialogue, the inner conversation that we have, this all affects who we are and affects who we can be. So there I am now, on this, even to this day, conditioning my mind, feeding it with positivity, feeding it with speeches such like this, feeding it with things that are going to help me grow as a person and as an individual. It's our responsibility. And why did I tell you all of that painful experience in the past? It's to share with you where I've come from, where I've been, but now I can tell you something about that. What I used to think was the worst thing that could happen to me is the actual best thing that could happen to me. And the reason why is because this is exceptional. This quotation from a very famous, beautiful philosopher, his name is Dwayne Dwyer. I've never heard of him. Exceptional speaker, teacher, and philosopher, mindset coach. He said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Just think about that. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Like we could look out of this window, imagine this window, but through this window, you've got this beautiful location, this beach or something like that. And you can see palm trees all in the background, but at the same time, on that piece of glass, there's this tiny little spectacle of dirt. It's like, it can be annoying if you know it's there. It's just like, and it's dirt, little piece of glass that's there. And that's also in the vision. But sometimes in life, we could be sat there looking out the window of our life, and we could be having that beautiful view. But what we're looking at and paying attention to is that little spectacle of dirt on the glass. But forgetting everything beautiful what was just there through the vision. And for me, at the time, when I was going through that pain and struggling, I was thinking about all the terrible, tough times I was going through. Why me? All disempowering questions, because it's the questions we ask ourselves and that we speak of. Why me? Why has this happened to me? What have I done to deserve this? I was told I was stupid. With all that going on, I was told I was going to be a failure. I was looking to go that way. I was a drug addict. I was lost. But somehow, look at me today, finding myself on the pathway to achieving my dream. And this is literally part of it, living my dream. Inspiring, sharing with people how anybody, no matter where you are, can change your life. You don't have to be in a dark hole like I was or refused to. And it doesn't. It's what I'm telling you about now. It's the mindset. It's what you feed your mind daily. It's your association. Again, it's the most crucial things that will affect your life. And even if you don't even realise it, the people you spend time with, you pick up even the language, what they speak. Certain words, you will say the same things, but you won't even know. But everything, behaviour, you pick that up from people you spend a lot of time with. So, what I'd like to say to you is just question that. Are they helping you grow? Or are they holding you back? Because you want to be moving forward and affecting your life positively. You want to be moving towards your dreams, not away. So, moving forward on that, this should be my mind. I've got a better association just at the beginning. I'm getting mentored by somebody that's positive, a big thinker, a dreamer. Now I asked him, I said, who was your role model? I said, who inspired you? So now I'm diving into this new realm of possibilities and different kind of thinking. What I'm feeding my mind with every day is very important. He told me a few different characters. Tony Robbins was the biggest one. I started listening to him. This guy's talking about why we do what we do and why our life is the way that it is. And I start investigating more on myself and more on how I can really make this change and how I can achieve anything. So from that point forward, every single day, to this day, I still do it and I will for the rest of my life. It's so important. I'm listening to inspirational speeches. I'm feeding my mind with something positive. It doesn't matter what it is. We can watch things on Facebook, TikTok, whatever, but try and make it something that's going to be beneficial for you. I'm actually doing things that I really enjoy now, not putting things off. Like this is something I absolutely love because it's growth, it changes life. If you apply exactly what I'm telling you in regards to the association, if you question it, and if something's really not good for you, get out of it, you have to, things will start to change. You start to feed your mind with different content, information, and start developing your mindset on a continuous basis, things will start to change. But it's only you that can be in charge of that. You need to want more, and you need to be able to commit to that. You deserve it, each and every one of you. I don't know all you two personally, but I know that you deserve more. I know that you can be more, and I know that absolutely every dream that you have is possible, and you can live it. People are living their dreams. People are living the life that they want to live to the fullest extent. Why not you? It's possible. It's just a matter of what you're doing every day. Are you moving towards your dreams or are you moving away? I'm so blessed that I'm on this path now and can be sharing this story with you. It was never like this. It's never. But it's a constant repetition. Like, I go to the gym every day just for 20 minutes. That's it. But it's the consistency that gives the good results, not just for your mind, but for my body, everything for health. But what things can you be doing daily that can improve your life? Your mental ability, your physical health. What is it that you can be doing? Think about these things. Now, one thing I want to talk about as well is something so basic, so simple, we all know about it, but not always commonly practiced. This is something that also changed my life. Drastic. The power of gratitude. Gratitude. We know what gratitude is, right? Could you give me an example? I'm going to pick on you then. Give me an example of gratitude.
Your health.
Your health. What about your health?
You're grateful for having a great life.
Wonderful. And how does that make you feel?
Confident, relaxed.
Confident, relaxed, beautiful. And gratitude, right? You want to be doing things that make you feel good, that are benefiting your life. Like gratitude is one of them. Really game changer. When you wake up in the morning, what do you think about? Because what you feed your mind with every day, what you think about, will affect your day. And what affects your day will affect your life. Because the majority of the things that we do, it's almost like a routine. Whether you're studying, whether you're working, whatever you're doing, it's more like a loop. But when you can change the loop a little bit and start doing some more little positive things daily, the small things, it's like a snowball effect. Things get better, better, and better. So, gratitude in the morning, what I do, and what I suggest all of you do, this is a very key thing that you can apply in your life. It sounds simple, but really look at me. This vibrant energy, this positive guy that you see, is me every day. I don't care what day it is, what happens in my life, when it's sunny, snowing, raining, whatever the day, it's what you focus your mind on. If you think of all the things that are going wrong in your life, if you think of all the challenges that are happening, you're not going to feel good, are you? You're going to feel like crap. You've got to control your mind and use gratitude as a tool to condition it to be more positive, to think more positive, to act more positive. Just smiling, it's a habit now for me. But if you see someone smiling, it's like a positive thing, isn't it? It makes you feel good. I mean, if somebody's looking at you like that, like this, you know? Little small things, positive, that we can do that can make a massive improvement over time. But in the morning, what can you be grateful for? Just think about it. Really focus your mind and feel the goodness of it, because a lot of things we take for granted sometimes. The place that we're living in, it's like a living mansion. We're like kings and queens here. I mean, if we go to somewhere else in the world, we'll find out that we are literally like kings and queens, because some people don't even have a home to live in. They're literally like sleeping outside. They don't even have clothing. They don't even have a bite to eat every day. But we do. How often do we think about that? How blessed that we are. I say that we're too blessed to be stressed. I really do. I can't be too stressed in life. Even when I have expectations, even when I have goals, even when I want things to happen and they don't happen, sometimes you get shit, you know. But I don't indulge in it. I don't let it take my energy and my time, because I deserve more. And positivity is something that we can all have and we can all give. I'll give it to you today. And it's contagious. If you're around somebody, part of the association, and they're feeling negative all the time, or they're always angry, I can almost guarantee that you're going to be a reflection of that as well. You're going to probably be down, depressed, stressed, or feeling that as well. So it's very, very contagious. So if you can master your mind and be doing these small, continuous little actions daily, like thinking of things that you're grateful for, questioning your association, getting around a different peer group that are lifting you up and taking you to your goals and your dreams, then everything can change for you. So, just a little bit more, because I'm not going to give too much of my time. My first time doing it, I'm getting a feeling we're getting close to the 20-minute mark, right? But this gratitude is so powerful. It really has changed my life. One of the things is gratitude. So association is another. And what you feed your mind with every single day. The gratitude. My God, we got it all. We've got it all. But there's videos that I've seen, and I could share with you if you're open to see it. Really, it's quite sad. But it's a good sad. The reason why I say it is because when you see it, it reminds you of how blessed that you are. Like, for example, there's a video that I've seen where you've heard stories of people trying to travel from different places in Africa and different places in India to come to Europe or come to Canada, and they're crossing the sea like a mum or and a dad. They've got even little babies with them in a boat. They're in this little rubber dinghy crossing the sea, and they're coming here or they're coming to Europe to live a better life. That's hard. You understand? That's tough. And people are dying at the sea doing that, just to come here, let alone have a place. Like, they're coming here, they don't even have a home. They come here with nothing but the clothes on their back and the children. But look at us here. We're so blessed. We've got a wonderful, luxury place to live. We've got clothing on our back. We've got food to eat every single day. For me, I cannot be down in the dumps knowing that I've got all of this. Sometimes I can be distracted by my goals and my desires, and you feel like, why haven't I got it? Or, it's been a long time coming. The less you care about that, and the more you focus on just living today and being happy today and spreading that positivity today, the more better you can feel, the more better your life can be, and the more it affects positively everybody else, because that's what it is. It's the energy that's contagious. Like, you have control over your life. I said when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, I didn't fully brush on this, but I'll finish it because it was a very deep story. But my mum and dad, I blamed them for my troubles. I'm a drug addict, I'm stressed, I'm depressed, I'm lost in my life because of them. It's because of them, it's not me. In one perspective, yes, it's good for them, because the parents are supposed to look after their kids, they're supposed to love you, they're supposed to really support you, but I didn't have that, so I blame them. But guess what? I was also a part to blame it, because of the way that I see the situation. Like, I was looking out the window, had that beautiful view, but I was just looking at this tiny speck of dust. But with my mum and dad, I didn't really see or question, how is it for them? What are they going through? Like, we always see things from our point of view, but in any kind of challenge that you have with friends, family, anybody, anything in life, there's always two sides of the story. You can either blame, game, and nothing changes, or you can take responsibility and you can see it a different way, because that's the only way that it will serve you. I see my biggest challenge in life and difficulties is now an opportunity to share with people and help people that have been through something like that to see a different perspective. Now, it wasn't my mum and dad's fault that I was neglected and I wasn't loved and I was abused and just left to be alone. It wasn't their fault. What I didn't know, and what sometimes we don't see, is from the other point of view, these people are going through something as well. We can only see our side and focus on our life, but why were they doing that? At the core root, are they actually a terrible person? Most of the time they're not. They've gone through something that's made them that way. You are the way that you are based on what you've experienced in your life and the education that you've received from your mum and dad and from your friends and everything that you listen to, what you feel your mind. And so now I realise that the only reason why my mum and dad treated me that way, there was many reasons, but the two biggest ones is that my mum went through a very tough time when she was younger. I never knew that. All I see is getting beaten crap out of and living neglected to the highest level. I don't know, she actually went through something. That's why she is the way that she is. I never see that. And they also got addicted. I've been addicted. I was addicted to drugs. And now I understand how it is. You do it because it gives you an instant gratification, an instant reward. But the minute you're off it, you're stressed, depressed, and lost again. And even when you're on it, you're not even present. You're just somewhere else in cuckoo land. That's what I call it. You're not present. So that's the point I want to drive home, is that it's not always the things that happen to us. It's the way that we see them, and it's what we choose to do about it. It's the doing part. Because you can either sit there and get on your hands and knees and your head in your hands and feel sorry for yourself and be like, please, something happened. I can cry my eyes out like I did in the past. I can wish for a better future. But if I'm just sat here feeling sorry for myself, is anything going to change? No. The only time that it can change is when I start to change how I see the situation and what I do about the situation. And that's what we have control over. Anything that happens in your life, any challenge, any difficulty, anything that you go for, you have control in what you do in the situation. Is it the end or is it the beginning? Is it time to step it up and make things happen, or is it time to fizzle out and complain and just be lost in yourself? The decision is up to you. At any moment, any given time, we have that choice. We've got that power. And we can change our lives. We can have a more positive, better future, no matter what it is. But if you could just take away from today what I've told you, just think about it. your association, who you spend time with, what you feed your mind with every single day, positive or negative, the videos, if you read books, conversations that you have, the thoughts that you have in your head, because that's a very crucial one. We're ourselves most of the time, even when everybody goes home. We're up there in our heads, so we need to be like our own best friend, our own supportive person. What do we say to ourselves? We put ourselves down, we lift ourselves up, because we have the power and the choice. It's a matter of habit and conditioning the mind like we condition the body. So today, that's what I ask you. Question dissociation and start feeding your mind on a daily basis with inspiration, with positivity, with things that are lifting your spirit higher, because you have control of it. Do something today that makes you feel good, that is actually working towards your growth, whether it's going to the gym and sweating for 10 minutes, whether it's going out for a walk and thinking about your goal, whether it's bringing a loved one and telling them how much you love them and appreciate them for everything they've done for you. This stuff makes you feel good, makes you feel happy. And just always remembering that every single day, we are so blessed. We are so blessed. All of you, every single one of you, crazy blessed right now. Me too, so blessed. So we've got this opportunity to spread the positive vibes, to be a beautiful instrument for people in their life, because we influence people as well. We spend time with our family, our friends, and we can be lifting them higher. We can be spreading more of a positive vibe, and we can be living a happier life. I mean, I don't know where any of you are right now, but wherever you are, if you just apply them key things, trust me. I would love to speak to you more, because there's many more techniques that I've used, but in such a short space of time, it's hard. And this is my first event that I've done in the building, so that's what I say to you today. Please think about your association. Remember that. Don't blame anybody for your life, or why you haven't got what you've got, or why you might not be where you want to be, or living a life you want to. Take responsibility, own it, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. Thank you for coming, and I really appreciate the time. I hope yeah, that's what I've got to tell you. I mean, if you're in a hurry to rush anywhere, you can. If you have any questions, or you want to stay around and have a little bit of a conversation amongst yourselves, you can. But I'm so happy and grateful that you've come along and been a part of this experience. So, thank you.
Beautiful experience.
You have a wonderful study, okay?
Yeah, I gotta move my laundry very fast.
Got you, yeah.
Well, I'm coming back.
Okay, brother.
An extra door.
Okay, wonderful, bro. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions for me? I'm an open book. If there's anything specifically you want to ask me or anything like that, you can ask me either now, or you can ask me through messages or whatever. But really, there's a solution to everything. There's a solution to everything. We've been so blessed. It's just the way we see things, it's the way we deal with things, it's what we do. But if we're doing something that's not working, and we don't want to give you an act, it's not working right. We want to do something that's making us feel better, that's lifting ourselves up and what's bringing us towards our goals and our dreams. Who you want to be? You want to be more confident, you want to be more efficient, you want to do it, you want to be whatever it is you want to be, you do. So, yeah. Before I start going somewhere else, that's pretty much my story and what I got for you this time around. There's many things that I could share with you and talk about and think of, but I've done my best to give you my heart and everything that I've got to inspire you to see life a little bit differently. And I hope that you can take away a few of the tools that I've shared with you, and that you can really implement them. It will only work if you work. I think if you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen, right? Just sit here. You don't go anywhere. I'm not moving, am I? But if I want to get in shape, for example, I've got the equipment just here. If I start lifting some weights, and I do that enough times, now I'm going to start building some muscle. If I start doing some squats, again, I'm going to start building the building.
Oh, you sweet.
You know what I mean? You've got to
Great.
doing things that can get you that favourable result. So, yeah, other than that, wow, I'm really, really so grateful to be able to just share this with you. Really. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, that's pretty time round. Like, this is what I've got for you. If there's anything else like you want me to brush up on, I'm happy to share. How do you feel? Anybody? Oh, yeah. Yeah, awesome. But yeah, look, we're all a family, like, you know, talk to one another, you know. You're all like, you're all pretty new. How have you been living here?
This is actually rare. I mean, we never experienced this.
This kind of conversation and event.
Yeah, you're cooking.
Oh, sure. For me too, like, I've never even thought of it. I've never even heard anybody that's done something like this. I just thought about, how can I make a difference in people's lives? How can I do it now? How can I do it now? Because, I don't know, you probably can relate to me many times, like, you've been literally wanting to do something, but you're like, I'll do it when I've done this. Or I'll do it later when I finish my studies. Or I'll do it after this, and I'll wait for the perfect time. And 1, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years go down the line, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it then. Or I'm not going to do it now, I'll do it later. Or you're waiting for the perfect time, but let me tell you, the perfect time and the only time that we have is right now. Right now. We don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow. Like, I could talk so many stories. Like, I've got a friend personally that I live with, and I'm just so heartbroken what happened to him. Like, he hung himself. He was 26. You would never expect it. You don't know what's going on in somebody's head. I thought he was a happy guy, he was a bubbly person, he got good energy, and one day he took some drugs, it's another bad association again, in the wrong place, at the wrong time, with the wrong thoughts, and he topped it off. I would have never thought he did that. He had a baby coming as well. He's now got a daughter that is not even see. Guess what? That's how short life is. That's how crucial it is and how important it is. And now every one of us got opportunity to live happy life, a positive life, to be an instrument for others. Like, you all can do it. You know what I mean? You just got to focus your attention on the things that you're grateful for, associate with people that are positive, people that are living well. People doing the opposite, man. You want to get out of your life. Ooh, that stuff is painful, man. You don't want to be feeling pain. Like, we've got a short time here. Let's make the most of it. Let's live a good life and live a happy life. Let's do it. Yeah. Other than that, like, that's pretty much what I've got for you. I'm not too sure where we are with the time, but what are we talking at the moment?